Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Tonight, last night, I think it was the Grammys, Barbara Moore, and my co-host Barbara Moore. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I'm here. Hi. What are you saying about Barbara Moore?
That you were watching the Grammys and you got really enthralled by it. So why don't you tell us a little bit about?
You were watching it. What?
Well, I saw little bits and pieces of it, but I don't have the attention span to sit through all of it. But
no, there's another reason, which is it's very interesting. I'd like to tell them. You basically don't have an ear for music. Have you even tried music?
I've tried, but I think.
When did you try? Did you have earphones on? Did you have Did you have a good music choice?
If I like to see something on YouTube, I'll listen to it. But it's very. I just don't have. I don't know. It seems like to me that it doesn't have the same effect on me that it has with most people. I'm not saying that music is bad or anything like that. It's just.
It doesn't make you feel inspired. Like when you're on a walk,
not really.
You might have earphones on. You would never think to. I want to listen to my rock. I want to lay here and listen to some classical music to relax. I want to listen to Zen music to meditate. Nothing, never. No longing for music. Okay, that's what I remembered you were saying. And there's something in you. It's just the way you're made, but it's very rare. So thank you for talking about music then, because most everybody else, there might be a few people like you, but most people do like it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the Grammys were really good, and I don't remember thinking that last year. I can't really remember them that much last year, but I just wasn't that into it. I think there was Elton John, yes. My friend was working with him. He's cool and everything, but that's all I remember. That is it. But what I love about them is you really hear the real music. I don't think they lip sync. Did you notice that they were? Did you see enough people actually singing to know if they were? I don't think they were. They were live. They were really singing. They have a track behind them, but I cannot stand lip syncing. Can you, Johnny?
Well, lip syncing, I don't understand the concept of that because that's not really singing. That's
that
sort of
way
like,
they would never make a mistake. See,
that would be like saying. Yeah, that's kind of like, see, to me, lip syncing is sort of like running a lap on one of those things in the airport.
Right.
Those movies.
And also, like lip syncing, right? But it's okay. But also, lip syncing reminds me of something else that annoys me, which is canned laughter and canned clapping, all that in those old-fashioned shows. I never really liked that at all. I could always tell it. I understand it to get people going, but did you like canned laughter?
Well, you're right. It doesn't look real. It's it seems like it's very phony.
Right.
Like the sports. I'll give you an example. Like the sports, it's they don't sort of get a home run. They don't sort of get a touchdown, and they don't sort of get a ball in the basket.
Right. It's real. It's raw. It's real. People like real.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
That was just the case.
Except for one sport, which I don't understand, but my dad was trying to tell me, yes, but they're athletic. Yeah, I'm sure they are, and they're very strong and tough. The wrestling, all the flips and stuff, a lot of that it's not totally real. Like they didn't slam him completely
well,
as hard as
I
they
think,
fit on the chest
yeah,
and he
I
fell
think
down on him.
this is kind of my view on all of that. Okay, many years ago, and I want you to pay attention to what I'm going to say, and from the standpoint of being a wife at home. Okay, there was a show many years ago, and they were doing lots of shows like this. It was called Breaking the Magician's Code, where they wanted to kind of explain how the tricks were being done, and they did this with the master magicians. But they did another one where they called it, how the secrets of professional wrestling. In other words, how they do the tricks that they do. The thing is that I saw them do their tricks. Now, when I realized after I saw those tricks, I thought, well, I can't do that. You see, I can't do all those things. So I think what you're talking about is it something that only certain people can do? The answer is yes, it is something only certain people can do. But is it real? Well, that's like saying whether or not going to the movies is real or anything. But back to what I was saying about being on the stance of the husband, the wife sitting at home, there are people who, are in that literally die, from doing it. They break their necks, they run up in the hospital, and it is something that, it's very sad. So, yes, it can really kill you. So you have to sort of look at it from a standpoint of risking your life in your career. So maybe I don't know if I would call professional wrestling sort of like trapeze artists at a circus is what I would call it. But I would not necessarily say that it's a joke, because you and I can't do that. I can't do what they do. It requires a lot of physical skills that I don't have or possess.
Right. So I don't know if they call themselves a sport or just entertainment, but it is very entertaining. So it's maybe not a sport. Maybe it's just an entertainment. I'm not sure what category it's in. But
I do also
back
think
to wanting things to be real. Okay, if you want it to be real and you want it to be really fantastic with fantastic backgrounds and the art that went into it. Everybody is an artist. The singing, the dancers, and what I loved is all sizes of dancers these days. And everything is beautiful, all shapes and sizes. And I think things really have made a turnaround the last few years with having a more full-figured model look. Skinny ones are in. Skinny ones are beautiful, mid-size are beautiful, and full-formed, full-figured, and robust, really, really full-figured are all beautiful. And I love that because, you've got the tiniest in Ariana Grande, tiny, tiny, tiny. And then you have Lizzo, who's totally full-figured. And we both love them the same. They're beautiful. And I love that because it broke a barrier recently, I've noticed, because there were so many young girls and young boys out there that would try to be model perfect, and they couldn't be because it was only skinny was in for a long time. That was the most sought after look. And people were getting a lot of eating disorders from trying to emulate all their stars and the model look. Well, I like what I saw last night, and that's what I noticed. Did you notice that? Because I know you watched several clips.
Yeah, one of the things I saw was they were going to do a tribute to Kobe Bryant. And, it was talking about, they had what's his name, Cyrus. He was
Billy
really
Ray
crying.
Cyrus.
Yeah. And actually, one of the things I liked about that is that I like it when things can span different topics and genres. And it was a music show talking about something that happened with sports.
Right.
You know?
I love that too because of what we covered yesterday on our show, where Kobe Bryant was killed in this tragedy, and then to see that they were talking about it a lot. I mean, that man was so loved, and that was a wonderful tribute. And that Alicia Keys, who was the host of the Grammys, was fantastic. Sometimes someone comes along where they're just absolutely naturally perfect. I mean, she's beautiful. Yes, she's naturally beautiful. She's herself. She has a great athletic figure. You can tell she's healthy. And she just seamlessly introduces everybody and then incorporated at the last minute this tribute, and all of the tributes that were told by everybody were amazing for Kobe. But the way she seamlessly led the show last night, I thought was truly amazing. I mean, that woman is absolutely fantastic as a host. And then on top of that, that talent as a singer. And I've always loved Alicia Keys. And so to see her come back and do the Grammys, I know, okay, it's going to be good. She's amazing. And so that really stuck out to me too. And then they showed his jerseys, and various artists, they would like incorporate that into their number that they did last night, like Kobe somehow mentioned him, or I remember the young boy, which is another story I want to get into, Lil Nas X. Okay, I've got to talk about this guy because this is, first of all, Billie Eilish has really changed the way things are produced, her and her brother. But she took home like 4 Grammys. But this young man, okay, he bought a piece of music, a track for $30. He had to have it. And when he got home from work, he just thought, I hope nobody got that yet. He got it. And then he just immediately started writing that cowboyish song. He never had done any country music. He wrote this song. Then he went in like on 50 half off Tuesdays to his local, I forgot where he's from, but he went to his local place to record it. And that probably cost like $125. And then, well, it did, $125. Then he released it out onto his social media, and it went viral. And now the guy won a Grammy. He's this young guy. He came out. He was like hiding in the closet. He came out and said, I am gay or bisexual. I can't remember. And he wore this hot pink outfit, like a cowboy style. And his hit, Johnny, is a sensation. And it had the record for the longest number 1 days up on the Billboard charts as number 1, the record for that. I mean, from just doing what I just told you, and he became a star, and that is what's so cool. And then Billie Eilish, who's 18 years old, who Priscilla loves, everybody loves her, who won all the Grammys. Okay, her and her brother, in their little bedroom, produced her whole album, all of her music. That's where they do it, okay? I saw the little documentary on them going into, James Corden actually went in and saw her bedroom, and it was just like so anywhere in America, little kid bedroom. I mean, that is amazing, and they still do their music there.
One of the things that I remember about Billie Eilish is that she's a huge Office fan.
Oh, really? I love The Office. Priscilla loves The Office, too.
Yeah, I think, it was
It's a great show.
Yeah, I know. It's so hilarious. I mean but she's supposed to be the biggest fan in the world, is what they say. Yes.
Of The Office?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little trivia. I think that Priscilla probably knows that too. She likes Billie Eilish a lot, and her generation does, but I do too. They know what they're doing. You know what? I saw an interview, and they said music is in good hands. All these young people who are so aware of They have social awareness. They are environmentally conscious. What else are you? Conscious. Here's my little daughter. What else are you? How would you describe your generation, Priscilla?
We have a really weird sense of humor.
Like, what makes it weird?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
It's different. No.
Is it dry? Is it sarcastic? Is it out there? Is it off the wall?
It's like such weird stuff.
It's just anything goes these days out there, and it's about create, don't hate. You know, social media has made kids so they've come out of their shell so easily. Everybody pretty much has their little hands on it. And they start singing, and they get used to being looked at. And I think it's good. I actually really think the whole social media thing, which is definitely not going anywhere, is great. Do you?
Oh, yeah. Because you're kind of getting used to being, you're being looked at, getting used to being out there. It does require a certain degree of maturity.
Yeah, it does. I just thought it just all in all was wonderful. And like I said, the sets and then how the timing of it. Of course, by now they've got that down. But I just enjoy it. And because you were talking about the Oscars, and yes, I do watch those too, and those are coming. But my favorite award show has always been the Grammys because it's wonderfully entertaining. I mean, you've got the best of the best performing all night long. I mean, to me, that's just a lot more interesting than watching movie clips and people clapping and taking a very long time to thank everybody they know who worked on a project. I just find the Grammys to be fun. Really fun.
Now, how long is the Grammys typically?
I was wondering that myself because I go in and out and do things as I watch. I think it seemed like it was a couple hours. Pretty long. But then you know what's so great is they just play it over and over and over. They rerun it. So if you miss something, then you just go into the room and watch it. It's not like I sit down and I'm glued and I don't talk. I've done that before, and I don't even want to go watch the Grammys with anybody anymore. I like to do it by myself or with Priscilla around because I don't like to have to sit there and not make a peep because they get so serious, especially if you're watching it with a singer. They get so super serious, and you cannot talk. Same with the Oscars. And I like to be able to talk on things like this or get up and down or do whatever I want. You told me that it was going on in your house downstairs. So your mother must
they were
like
well, what they were watching was the gala events before, you know.
Like the red
they
carpet?
were watching. Yeah.
Yeah. I missed that, but I watched a little bit of it today, and I really liked Ariana Grande's big gown, and I did make a note of that because, I mean, these people have everybody working for them. Everything's thought out for their social media. She had then another dress to change into later, and both of them looked very much like fairy tale, like Sleeping Beauty, or no, what is the one? Cinderella, very Cinderella-ish. That's what I think she was going for. And they're beautiful. I mean, these entertainers, I thought Demi Lovato, this was her first comeback after she had a drug overdose and almost died. And then she went to rehab, and she came back. I really am a sucker for ballads. When they blast out a ballad and they hit every note and it's perfect, and then at the end they have a tear in their own eye, now that, to me, my blood starts thumping and I get like this adrenaline rush. It's very inspiring. Music can really move you. And I thought she did a very good job with that, and it was perfect, I thought. Absolutely perfect.
Because the tears makes it authentic.
It just was this ballad that when they hit a million high notes just like perfectly and they hold them for a long time and their mouth is just like looks so pretty when they sing and their teeth are so sparkly and straight and perfect and clean and dazzling and their makeup is perfect and their outfit is gorgeous and I mean their skin looks like dewy and perfect. Yes, I find that to be enjoyable to watch.
Is it because of the emotion or
that too? And then put the emotion in that is real and raw with all that talent and all that beauty and all that sparkle and all that style and and that production value and I like it. I really do. You should look up to see how well these Grammys did over like last year or the year before. It's probably interesting.
Yeah, I imagine it does. I mean, do you feel though that anybody ever gets like snubbed at the Grammys?
Well, some people do. I am not into it, the music business, enough to realize if they are or not. But supposedly, Kanye West got on there and said a long thing about how the blacks have always got snubbed. And let's see. Oh, hip hop has gotten not very acknowledged at the Grammys, and that it needs to stop tonight, and on and on and on. But I see a lot of hip hop up there. I see a lot of black people performing. So I'm not sure, but then that's just going on casual observer once a year. I'm not a music mogul type. I don't produce music. I'm not a music manager. I'm not writing songs. I, have my normal Spotify. I have my YouTube music app, and I'm pretty good to go, okay? So maybe there is. Maybe there are people who are getting snubbed. I'm not aware of that. Do you? Do you think? I mean, you're not really into the music business either.
Well, I will say this, though, that sometimes, when there's, like, how they say, like, with the Academy Awards, comedies hardly ever win an Oscar,
Yeah, right.
I mean,
I don't know. We're going to have to look that up a little bit. We're going to have to say, Google it or Yahoo it and see what's out there about that. It's not
sort of out there. I mean, it is out there. I mean, comedians do not like the fact that they never win Oscars. I mean, it's always...
Not that. That's not what I meant. I meant, are the Grammy, is there any certain type that are getting some in the Grammy? I don't know. But you would know the movie business because you're a movie buff. So
right, but I do think that it is possible that it is possible that there is a, what do you call it? I mean, like a certain kind of music that will win. I mean, it's
like
just
pop. Probably.
Right.
You know what? I think it's more. I have to look that up. But I mean, who is voting? Is it a statistic? Is it because they've had number ones? I mean, I'd like to know. We need to know. It's interesting. With everything, though, there's always a certain group of. There's always a group that thinks that they're getting snubbed. It seems like.
Well, yeah, you can't have an award for everything, for everyone. I mean,
no, they're not going to. They're not going to say, "Okay, here's a little trophy for you for trying." I mean, that's what's so great about it. It's like the top of the charts. It's the and oh my gosh, I just wish that you would give music more of a try, Johnny. If I send you some music, some of the top, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post some of the top songs that won, okay, on our Life After Happiness group page. Will you promise to listen to them? I promise I won't send that many, okay?
I promise I'll listen.
Okay, like 5.
Okay.
And also, remember, I wanted you to write a list. Did you think of one person that you wanted to talk to this week that you haven't talked to for a long time that you care about, that you don't want, like, say, if they were gone tomorrow, you would have regrets, like, oh, I wish I would have talked to them.
I
have
tried
one
to
person
talk
on
to
my
them.
list.
I tried to. Who is your?
Oh.
You don't have to say the name of the person. I won't say the name of the person, but I tried to reach them, but they didn't. They were like, they pretty much told me this is. I just want to be Facebook friends. I don't want to talk to you. We're not going to meet up anytime soon.
No way! No way! Oh no! You did? Oh God! Wait! You did what I asked you to do, and that happened?
No, this is what happened when I tried to reach them. You understand?
Yeah. What happened is they told you, I'd rather just be your Facebook friend.
Yes. But see, the thing is,
That's
I knew
horrible.
this guy. I knew this guy since he was in second grade. Yeah.
No way. So what did you? Okay, can you tell me exactly what you? I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just thinking this is not very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you say? How did you approach it?
Well, I tried, calling him. Then he goes, don't call me. You're not going to get my number, which means we're not going to be we're not going to get together anytime soon. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what happened. The thing is that
Wait, you called him and then he texted you saying, don't call me?
I called him on. I called him on Facebook Messenger because he didn't give me his phone number.
Okay.
But
did you say he wasn't going to give you his phone number, or did you first just try to call him, and then did he please tell me exactly what he said.
Well, he said he wouldn't give me his number, and then I realized that after some things didn't seem right. First of all, this person now weighs about 400 pounds.
Oh, really?
And I'm wondering if they're subconscious because of their weight.
Maybe, but then they have pictures on Facebook. Otherwise, you would not know that. So probably not. So when was the last time you talked to him? When was the last time you talked to him?
I think it was around 1990 something.
Okay, and you guys used to be friends?
Oh yeah, we've known each other since second grade.
Why did you choose him? Like, would you really have felt bad if he died and that you hadn't talked to him recently?
Yeah, I guess it would, because the reason I chose him is after I got out of college, that's when I started developing serious relationships with women and getting So I started asking myself, if I ever got married, who would be my best man?
Yeah.
And that's when I realized that he might be the person to do it. You see what I'm saying?
No. How did you feel when he said, you're not going to get my number, I just want to be Facebook friends with you?
I was confused and sad and hurt.
All day?
I mean, what?
All day today you were confused and sad about that?
No. This was about a year or two or so ago when I tried contacting him.
Oh, I thought you were doing it because I asked you to do it last night to get the list together.
No, but he is someone that I've thought about. I mean, I do try to get a hold of him, but it doesn't seem to really work on that well.
Can you choose a different person then? Okay, don't give up with just one person, okay? Try another person, maybe that you haven't talked to for maybe a year or two or three, not since the 90s. Like,
no, I do have someone in mind. He's, he knows about the podcast and everything, but I'd like to, I call him, I can never get a hold of him,
Did you know him since school or college or high school?
Yes. I knew him, actually, I talked to him about a year or so ago.
Did you know him from high school?
No, but I knew him from college. Reinhardt College, when I was at Reinhardt.
Okay, well, try him again, and if you can think of some other people in case he doesn't work out. It's not really for their benefit. It's for your own benefit. So if they don't even really want to hear from you, Johnny, move on to the next one who's happy to hear from you. And then you could say, hey, I value you. I'm glad we're in touch. Not these guys that are from high school that don't even care. What?
Who was your choice?
Oh, well, my choice was a person, and it was the weirdest thing. I always wonder if I should say these things on air because people are going to think, well, no, come on. Is that real? This is really real, okay? The person I thought of called me today. Not kidding. One of the people that I had written down, one of the people that I had written down on my list called me today and said, I mean, and then when I didn't answer it because I didn't get to the phone on time, I got a text, and I will read it to you.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, talk about polar opposite of what happened to us today. Okay. So she called, then I didn't make it to the phone. How are you? With a red heart. Geez, hope you have a happy new year. Miss hearing from you. Love, ... I'm not going to say their name. I'd say it's been about a year and a half since I even talked to that person, and I really feel bad about it because this person I used to talk to daily, and for some reason, I think it was the move, okay? It was a little before the move, and then for whatever reason this happens to us, we have a shift in our life. We might get a relationship. We might move. Who knows? A lot of other reasons, change jobs, and then you stop talking to this person. It's nothing that they did or anything. But I thought about that, and I thought about this person, and they called me. I'm telling you, it's totally, totally true. It did happen.
Really? Wow.
And I would feel bad. If they died, I would feel absolutely horrible for not talking to them for a year and a half. Absolutely horrible. I would feel like, what's wrong with me as a friend? I would have. I really would have. So I got one down. One down. Remember, I wanted to do 5 this week. We were going to do 5 this week. There's only one person a day. So do you have one in mind for tomorrow?
I'm sure I do.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, Johnny, do you want to get back to our entertainment conversation?
All right, sure.
Okay. When you were growing up, what kind of entertainment did your parents have around the house for you guys to? Did you watch TV? Did you listen to the radio? Did you
play video games?
I know. Okay, play video games, and you also had your mom run little plays for you. And what was that about? Because you love movies, you love the acting, you love you saw
the video. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You saw the video. Yeah. Well, what we would do is we did a thing called Rich and the Restless. Okay, Did you see that?
No. I saw yours, but I didn't. Is this a real thing, or is this what you made up?
I was Cash Wall Street. And one of these days you're going to bring my, by the way, one of these days you're going to bring my sisters on, and you're going to be able to ask them about Cash Wall Street.
Who made this up, Cash Wall Street?
That was Tasha. Tasha created a thing where with Cash Wall Street, and we did little plays. And I'm telling you, I was the worst actor. I did not want to be there. I mean, I was just like, it was like, oh, great. You know, they used to use my blank gun to pretend that they shot me, and it was just
so cute. Were they younger than you or older?
My sister Chrissy's younger. My sister Tasha and Cassie are older.
Okay, so you're around these 3. You're in the middle of these 3 sisters, And they're making
Yeah.
you, this is so funny, they're making you be in their play and play the star Cash.
Yes.
Cash what?
Sure.
Cash
I'm
Wall
like,
Street? I love
yes.
it. That's funny.
And the name of the soap opera that they made up was called The Rich and the Restless. Okay?
Oh, wow.
And
I love it. I saw this on YouTube. Okay, and your mom was part of it too. Was she the cameraman?
no, actually Tasha was the cameraman, but you know, it was just crazy. I mean, like, honestly, I mean, it just I felt like I was captive. You know, I think that's when they finally stopped it, because I was really like, okay, I don't want to do this. You know, okay, we're just dressing you up. Okay, we're gonna put a
How old
suit
are you?
on you. Oh God,
Oh,
I was
how
about
cute.
6, 7. I mean,
Oh, I
it was
love
crazy,
it.
You know.
They probably had so much fun with you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then your mom put them up on YouTube, which is, I think is amazing. And so I like what your mom
I
said.
don't think
She
those
said,
are all the videos. I don't think those are all
What?
the videos. I don't think those are all the videos. I think we have some of the videos that has all the grandparents, but I'm telling you, I just wanted to get out of there. I did not want to. I mean, it was just. It was. I mean, and
oh, come on. I'm sure you enjoyed it a little bit, Johnny. Come on.
well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess it was. I mean, in retrospect, I was like, okay, you said the wrong line. No.
Did you have to memorize the lines?
Yes. Yes.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh! So I used to make my brother do something, but I think he liked it. And I would be the solid gold dancer, and I would jump off the top of the stairs, the 4 stairs. It was a sunken living room, and into his arms, and he would twirl me, and I would choreograph all of our moves, and he would do it. And he was, I mean, he wouldn't do it if he didn't like it. I wasn't really able to force him to do anything. He did it, and we had so much fun. We laughed our heads off. I was even dancing back then.
I know it's
Always.
I mean,
Always dancing.
but I mean, you didn't feel weird doing the videos, or you like doing them, or
We never took videos. We didn't have a video camera. There's not one video of me ever growing up. We only had pictures where you had to take the picture and then go get it developed, and that was expensive, so we hardly ever did that. And then when we did get it developed, they would be like dark and grainy, and I mean, it was a totally different time, and I don't even feel like it was that long ago.
yeah.
It's crazy. But your family had a video camera. That's cool. I
We had
mean,
a
just like
video
10 years
camera.
after, everybody had a video camera. So it was kind of like I made it through my whole childhood to where there was nothing. And then, boom, I got out on my own. And then car phones came. Cell phones came. They were huge. And then, I mean, it was really, there were still pay phones everywhere. I remember when those started to be taken out. It really changed, and it changed fast. Nobody had a computer in their home. I mean, I remember when Playboy did their first email. I remember that day. That was like a big deal for them. And then it's why even have emails? Because what we used to do is when we'd get an email, if it was important, we'd print it out and put it in the filing cabinet. It still was so like, no, you don't have to. Now you can just keep them in your computer, and there's a cloud now. And I mean, it just was really interesting, don't you think?
Yes, it was.
You're younger than me. You're younger than me, though. So I think
now,
that.
I want to ask you this one other question. Do you know anybody that's ever won a Grammy?
I met Smokey Robinson, and I met, I met Motown, the main guy, Quincy Jones, and was at a party and talked to them for quite a while. Yeah, that was cool. I have a picture with Quincy Jones, me, Quincy Jones, and Elkie. I remember I went to the Oscars once, and that was fantastic. I just moved to Beverly Hills in February of 93. I was Miss December in 92. And 3 months later, I was living there, working. And I went on an audition, and then I got this part. I was in this Last Action Hero with, it wasn't one of his big Arnold Schwarzenegger hits, but, I mean, I was on it.
What part were you in The Last Action Hero?
I actually never have seen this part, but I was this futuristic woman walking a poodle. And actually, this was right before I moved. I didn't even live in L.A. I was shooting for Playboy, staying at the mansion. B.J. Turner, the Playmate Promotions, said, Barbara, you've been booked as a beauty extra. Well, beauty extras, that was like a modeling rate, and it was super easy because you didn't even have to model. You just stood there on a movie set, and you got paid it was like $750 rate for just being a beauty extra. So we would never be extras, but we would do the beauty extra because it paid well, and it was easy, and then there you were on the set. So I went down there with a few other Playmates, and we were cast as like the futuristic in these beautiful costumes, walking these standard poodles in front of the Blockbuster out in Calabasas. Well, none of us even lived here. We were driving, and Calabasas is pretty far up north. Well, we're like, are we ever going to run into this? We didn't know it was a tiny little, like, you would miss it if you blinked, town. So we drove almost all the way to Santa Barbara. And me and the Playmates, and we had to pull over at some like grocery store and call Playboy, and they're like, no, you went way too far. So we went back. That was our little story, and we did our little beauty part. And then, but the director, you know what he said? There was like this main girl who got like 1 or 2 lines talking to Arnold as like this Blockbuster store clerk. It was a scene in Blockbuster. He's like, oh, she was horrible. And if you were here on time, I would have cast you right in that part. Can you believe that? It's been like a speaking part for me for that. So that was a bummer. But anyway, that same director asked me if I would go to the Oscars with him. So I asked B.J. Turner, and she goes, oh, I used to work for him. I used to work for his company. Oh, he's the nicest guy. Yeah, you should go. Well, I thought the year after that, and the year after that, and many years went by. I'm like, hello, being invited to or going to the Oscars is a pretty big deal. I thought, I hadn't even moved there yet, and I was already going to the Oscars. So I thought, I'll just go to the Oscars every year. And then the governor's ball dinner afterwards, where it's like all the stars, rubbing elbows and everything and eating a wonderful dinner after the Oscars. I did all that. And not only that, he said, well, what are you wearing? I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a long gown. And he had me go to the Columbia Studios lot and go into the wardrobe, this huge wardrobe area, like a hangar, an airplane hangar, and pick out whatever I wanted to wear. So I did. And it was this gold beaded gown that was like heavy and it probably was like $40,000. And I'm like, it's too big. And then they took it in. They had it all tailored for me, picked me up in a nice limo, went there, had a fabulous time. And that's when I met Quincy Jones for the first time. So then when I saw him at the house party years later, I'm like, oh, I remember I met you at the Oscars. And it was like so funny. Yeah, it was cool. So, yeah, those were really fun memories. But that was the only time I ever did go to the Oscars. But I've been like to the CMAs, and then I've been to the American Music Awards, and I have not been to the Grammys. But, a lot of other big productions where, I do the red carpet and all that. And that was fun, like American Idol. Many times all of us dancers used to go to Dancing with the Stars all the time. And so, yeah, it's been really fun. But my only other favorite thing I've ever gone to for entertainment, because it can be kind of boring sitting there and all the commercial breaks and everything, was the American Music Awards, because the same thing, wonderful, talented singers that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Now,
I
what's
love
the difference
music.
between the Grammys and the American Music Awards? It seems like they would be the
I
same
don't
thing.
know. I don't know. That's probably part of me being a little spoiled, and I do admit it. I don't have to look anything up. I get invited, and then it's like, sure, okay, that sounds fun, and I go. Then I wonder later, well, like, what are the rules? Who is voting? I mean, a good question. When I wanted to do a show about this, it wasn't to lay out all the facts and figures and all that stuff. It was just to talk about it with you as two consumers, people who watch TV. Do we enjoy it? Do we not? If we do, why? And if we don't, why not? That's all. That's simply what I wanted to do, which I thought I'd had a good time talking about it. It'd be more fun if we talked about it while it was happening, though.
Yeah. I mean, I think
if we're watching it. Do we ever do that, Johnny? Like, if we're watching something, or maybe when we do your birthday show, we'll have us live on, so people can actually look at us.
Oh, yes. That's true. Yes.
Okay, good. I want them to actually see us. When do you want to do that next, where we're going to do a live podcast where people can see us do the podcast?
I think probably Phil me get the makeover.
No. Why can't we do it like this Friday or next week? Why aren't we doing it? I want to do it.
Do what?
Well, when I say blue jeans, nobody knows what the heck blue jeans is, okay? But where we are live and you see us do the podcast. Okay, what?
But you said blue jeans, and then you said next week, and then I said birthday, and my birthday's not next week.
I don't want to do it. I want to do it on your birthday, but I also want to do it next week. Why do we have to wait till May?
Oh, you want to do a blue jeans thing on my birthday? I mean blue jeans thing next week, right?
Yeah, sure, or Friday or whenever. I'm up for it.
Okay. What do you want to do?
Well, we'll discuss that later, but I just want the listeners to know that you're going to be able to see Johnny and me soon.
Right.
And you might wonder what the heck we look like, people. So we're going to show you what we look like. We're going to show you what we look like. And we're going to do it by next week, okay? And the details will come to you. But you have to check our Life Laughter Happiness Facebook group page to find out when. We're going to surprise you. And who knows? Maybe we'll be casual. Maybe we'll be on the beach. Maybe we'll be inside. Maybe we'll have curled hair. I mean, maybe Johnny will straighten his hair. I don't know. But you're going to see us.
All right, well, that sounds great. That sounds wonderful.
Good.
I mean,
and then I know, Johnny, I know that you're going to enjoy doing your, talking about your forte, which is the movie business. And that's going to be, what is the date of the Oscars? I remember I went once and it was like February 2nd.
I know that it usually comes around the Super Bowl. I know that.
Yes, the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl too, people.
Oscars.
God, I love the Super Bowl so much.
February the 9th is the Oscars.
Okay, great. So first we'll cover the Super Bowl, then we'll cover the Oscars.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds great.
And then Super Bowl.
Super Bowl is February 2nd, which is Sunday.
That's right. Yes, they are near each other.
Oh, I'm going to be so excited. I know my Seahawks are not playing on the Super Bowl, or in the Super Bowl, but I really enjoy the Kansas City team because I love Patrick Mahomes. He's the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's another thing,
Now,
Johnny. I have to get you to liking music, and I'm going to have to get you to liking football a little more.
that's right, knowing the rules and understanding the rules.
Yes, but you know about the 10 yards, the 1st and 10, and you know a little bit about that. But then you start asking me, well, what's the all the positions mean? Well, you don't have to know every detail about what the positions do, okay? You just need to know
Okay.
the rules a little bit, and then you're going to understand it. Then you'll start to enjoy it. There's a lot of people that don't know all the rules in football, and they still enjoy it.
Okay.
Great.
Well, I'll try to do that.
So what do you think, though, to end the show with a recap? I want to know what you think, because you didn't really comment much. And I told you the story about the young man, probably not even 18, okay? He buys a track, okay? He doesn't have hardly any money, but he knows he has something in him, okay? He buys a track. Then he writes a song to it. Then he takes it to Half Off Tuesdays at his local place where they could it's a place where they record songs for you. You pay them, they record one song. Then he puts it on his social media, and all of a sudden this one song went viral, and there's 25 different versions, mixes, they call it mixes, okay, where they change it. There must be something out there like that you can do this with permission. I don't know how that works, but the music business is so intricate. Okay, 25 different mixes, and you know what he did when he performed it? He went through like one set, then he'd go through it, and all these dancers around him, then he'd go through another door, and then he would be in a completely different kind of set, and then that version of his song, on and on and on, because all these people made different mixes of his song, which was totally entertaining and cool. But then the guy just becomes like, all he said was, hey guys, when he was sending out his song, Billy Ray Cyrus needs to hear this. And it got all the way to Billy Ray Cyrus. And that's why you see Billy Ray Cyrus, he took him under his wing and started to help him, and they did a duo. They won a Grammy for Best Video and Duo Performance. And this guy is already a Grammy winner and a hit song from that kind of perseverance. And it didn't used to be like that. It used to be where you had to find somebody to believe in you. They had to sign you. They had to give you a record deal, and then you had to be under their microscope and controlling direction. Maybe you didn't even like the direction they were going in. Maybe you didn't know anything you were doing, and you were under their control. And then nothing ever happened. Or maybe it did happen. But this is a different way. This is a change. This is, Billie Eilish is the one that paved the way for this to happen. She won 4 Grammys, and her brother produced all her songs in that tiny little bedroom, and they still do. So this is a wave of the future, and I love it because it gives people hope, and they know that their dreams can come true. It's not so unattainable anymore, and I love that. Don't you?
Yes. It's good that, she's so young and she can get along with her brother. Not many people that age can.
That's what I was thinking too, Johnny. I really noticed that. She really is so polite to her parents and him, and so beautiful too, inside and out, and her style with the baggy clothes is really funny. And she just is herself and says,
and she has Tourette's syndrome.
Okay. What does she have?
Tourette's syndrome.
Oh, really? I never noticed that.
I don't know the extent, but she has it.
Well, she does move the microphone. It shakes a little bit, but I didn't think that was Tourette's syndrome. I'm going to have to read about that.
Okay.
Johnny, but okay, when she sings, every note is so perfect. It is perfect every time when she's doing a rock concert, it's more casual, but a performance where she's sitting and it's the cameras and it's the audience, okay, absolutely perfect every time, okay? So this person is extremely talented.
Mm-hmm.
So, we had enough music talk now, Johnny?
Well, I think we're fine. Now, do you want to do
What?
the shout out? Do you want to do the shout out?
Okay.
Okay, go right ahead.
Everybody, it's growing so much, that new Life, Laughter, Happiness Facebook group page I see, and that is where I always post. I'm going to post interesting stuff. Now that we've talked about the Grammys, I would like to point out and post some YouTube videos for you to enjoy of my favorites from last night, and hopefully Johnny will watch them too. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, please, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to hear this show and several other awesome shows.
Okay. Well, good night, everyone. Good night, Barbara.
Good night. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks, Johnny.